Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy.
We give you the courtesy of conversation.
That's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. So, Wes, you were telling us about Ecuador. You're talking about that a little bit off camera.
Yeah. The Mexico embassy in Ecuador was raided by the Ecuadorian police, which is crazy. But they were looking for a former vice president. His name is Jorge Glas. I guess he was convicted of a couple different times. One time of actually taking bribes from a Brazilian construction company. The second conviction I'm not too sure about, but he was convicted. He was supposed to do 6 years in a Ecuadorian prison, but he took refuge inside the Mexico embassy, which I guess several other high-ranking government officials had done previously and had gotten away and gone away to ended up going away to Mexico. But this time, Ecuador, Mexico and Ecuador have been having a lot of problems lately. I guess Mexico called Ecuador's ambassador, what's it called?
Ambassador?
Something non grata. Basically that they're not welcome there pretty much in Mexico. And so this happened, but that kind of blew over. They didn't really do anything about that. But on this occasion, the Ecuadorian police actually raided the Mexican embassy and went inside and grabbed Jorge Glas and took him away. He's right now sitting in the Ecuadorian prison. And Mexico nowadays they've cut diplomatic ties. They're closing down their embassy and they've kicked out the Ecuadorian ambassador in Mexico.
It seems like we're just going to have like a world conflict at this point because no one's respecting consulates. They're not respecting embassies. They're not respecting treaties, truces, none of that stuff. It's kind of scary because this is going to lead to nuclear war.
It's going to
lead to something. Just like, I was reading this article about, the U.S. and the Mexico migrant issues. Mm-hmm. Right. And the Mexico president, he was like, look, you have to meet my list of demands or the flow of migrants is going to keep going. And he said his list of demands, and this is off top, he says list of demands is lifting sanctions on Cuba and Venezuela, sending Latin America and Caribbean countries $20 billion in aid a year and granting legal status to Mexican illegal immigrants in the U.S. were among President Andrew Manuel Lopez's demands to President Biden in exchange for the Mexican government doing more to halt the surge of migrants to the U.S. border.
Does he not understand? I mean, this guy, that's a lot of talk.
They should do it. They've been punishing Cuba for nothing for years.
No, trust me. I believe that too, but I feel like this. I mean, honestly, I won't say for nothing. They had nuclear weapons put on their land. This doesn't say I agree, but when you gotta let nuclear weapons be brought to your country from a foreign country that we have problems with, and they're 90 miles, 100 miles off of our shores.
Yeah,
that's a problem. You created a situation.
That was in like the 60s.
Well, you did it. I mean, at some point in time, we do need to lift the sanctions on them, but don't play that kind of game.
I'm saying America went into Iraq for no damn reason. They did that. And we supposed to just...
Man, sometimes you got to be
nothing to see here but blood and dead bodies.
Sometimes you got to be the bully the right way. You know what I mean? And at the same time, that's a communist country. I mean, I won't say it. I don't know if they're a communist country still to this day, but at that point in time, I think they were trying to become a communist country right off of our border.
Well, they lifted the sanctions off of Cuba, but then Americans started getting hit with like these kind of sonic devices that were like, it was hitting them in the ear. It was weird. They were getting them through the hotel rooms. They're hitting them with these sonic devices, and it was like messing up their ears and their equilibriums, and they couldn't walk. But a story came out earlier. It was the Russians doing it in Cuba.
When?
Recently? This is because Obama lifted the sanctions.
Boy, they flocking with me right now, man.
Nah, man, come on. I'll look it up. Go ahead and talk. Look.
No, I'm messing with you.
I'm saying, Obama lifted the sanctions on Cuba, and then Trump put them right back in there.
But they're also saying lift sanctions on Venezuela as well.
You should. Think about it. The only reason we have migrants coming to America is because America disturbs and destroys these other governments in these countries.
You know that, I mean, don't get me wrong.
Am I lying, though? They destabilize these countries. They done fucked up, excuse my language, they done messed up Venezuela many a time.
But hold up, time out. Let's say this. I've done some research on Venezuela. I'm big about that country only, but bigger than anything else is because that's the Saudi Arabia. That's the true Saudi Arabia of the world. What we think of Saudi Arabia being the oil giant that it is.
No, Venezuela got that oil.
And it's in our backyard. We should be utilizing them for that.
Yeah.
It makes sense. We could do a lot with them. What really messed up Venezuela was Hugo Chavez.
Yeah,
that's what messed them up. They were democratic. They were they had free and fair elections before he got in office. He became a dictator and took that country to socialism. He's the reason why that country is fucked up. That's not on us. Then he went off and tried to make deals with Putin. Now you want to put military bases for Russia in Venezuela. That's a problem. That's not on us. That's kind of on them. So now, then he wants to nationalize all the oil companies, which I don't have a problem with that. I understand why countries should do that, because we've been taking, you can use other words right now. We've been taking their natural resources and really giving them nothing for a very, very long time. Venezuela at one point in time was the #1 economy in all South America for a very long time.
Yeah. Hold on. Before we keep going, look, it's called Havana Syndrome. Russian intelligence operatives using energy weapons may have been behind Havana Syndrome, according to a new investigation into the mysterious and deliberate conditions that struck the U.S. personnel and Cuba.
Who's the news outlet on this one? I'm asking.
This one's Newsweek, but I can find it through anybody.
I'm just asking.
That's the whole thing. That's what I'm saying. Cuba was open for Americans to travel there. And then the diplomats were getting hit with sonic weapons. Okay. And then Trump was like, nah, something's going on. So they thought Cuba was doing it. But now recently they said, hey.
At the end of the day, we do need to open
Ain't no pink flock around here.
Poetic flock.
I'm a reputable news form.
Say it again.
Yes, reputable.
I believe you. But what I'm saying is, I do believe that we need to lift sanctions on Cuba. We do need to lift sanctions on Venezuela. But there needs to be standards put in place. We need to tell Venezuela that Maduro that's who's crushing their country. He's the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the reason why a lot of economic investments aren't flowing in that country right now.
But then America put him in place?
No. He came in right after Chavez. Chavez came in on his own accord. He swept, I think he was a military general.
Which one did the CIA get rid of? Because that's who tears up everything around the world. They destabilize countries, put in whoever they want in power.
But it didn't have anything to do with this one, with this run. Chavez kind of came in on a rush of, I'm going to give back the oil profits back to the people, and people just start cheering, and they didn't understand that came with problems. Then all of a sudden you kick out all the big oil companies. Now you can't even refine your oil in your own country anymore because you don't have refinery skills. You don't have the money to put in place to buy these things. Now people aren't doing business with you. Now you want to go ask Putin, hey, let's do military business together. Now you want to tell him he can put a base in your backyard. That's a problem. Then we're not going to go for that. And I'm good with that.
Yeah.
And then they had a election in 2016, which another person won. And Maduro said, nope, you didn't win. I won. And this is what we're going to do. And the other person actually did win their election.
Yeah.
And we gave him, I guess.
That's happened here before.
It's happened here several times, huh? But we actually gave him like $30 billion of Brazilian money that was being tied up and sanctioned off and kind of and put away, and we gave it to the opposition leader, the one who actually won the election.
Yeah.
And so now this year he's supposed to be having another free and fair election. The Venezuelan people want him out.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying like the America should. That's our backyard. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of resources down south from us in Mexico, South America that America should. This is why these people are fleeing, because there's nothing there for them.
This guy, but at the same time, they got to start. Like
they got more gang members than citizens.
I'm 100%. I understand America has done wrong around the world because we're a part of a westernized culture that has been on the backs of people who look like us for a very, very, very long time. I agree with all that. But this dude's pretty much saying, he's making demands, telling us that I'm going to keep on letting these people come through my country to go to your country if you don't do these things. That sounds like extortion.
No, because he's pointing out, he's like, look, the reason these people are coming to your country is because you're destabilizing South America. You've destabilized it for so many years, and all they see on the TV is everyone going to picnics and having a good time and doing reality shows in America. Absolutely. I want to go to America. But I want to live in America.
Neighbor and now my #1 trading partner, which Mexico is now. Mexico is America's #1 trading partner.
Do you think if Mexico looked fly, they wouldn't keep going? They would be like, man, it looks nice in Mexico, but let me go see what Texas is talking about.
Hey, don't give me. What I'm saying is, you're my #1 trading partner. You're my next door neighbor. Don't you ever threaten me.
Yeah.
Period. I can see we can talk, but don't ever come at me with demands saying I'm going to keep on doing something that's hurting me. It doesn't work that way.
Like America's not hurting Mexico.
How?
Always.
How, Sway?
How? Mexico be having a good old time with their plazas and their cartels, and America just comes into the country and destabilizes everything.
How? I don't see it as a stabilizing. What I see right now is American
you travel, right? Ask anybody, ask anyone that's never been out of America what they think Mexico looks like. And they're going to tell you it looks like dirt roads, shanties, and people sleeping with sombreros.
In certain places, man, I'm not going to say dirt road shanties, people sleep on sombreros, but a lot of places it is like that.
That's what America looks like too. But that's what America makes Mexico look bad. You know what I'm saying?
That we don't make anywhere. I understand what you're saying, but just because it's good, nice over here don't mean we're making somebody.
It's not nice over here. Where? How, Sway?
Are you serious?
Is it nice? I saw a rat. I saw a giant rat get eaten by a bigger giant rat in New York on video.
It's on video in New York. New York has rat problems, but New York is also one of the wealthiest.
Portland had to overturn their illegal drug law because it got so bad over there.
You're pointing out like individual. You got to remember how large America is.
I've seen
the third largest population in the entire world.
Just because we like to have sex and procreate don't make us a better place. America has a lot of bad places in here. It cost me $10 for some deodorant. I almost used it to steal it. $10.
Which kind did you get? Did you get the kind you wanted?
Yeah, of course.
Was there more than 10 kinds on the shelf?
I don't care what the kind. I can only use degree.
50 brands, 50. Hey,
Old Spice wears off on me too quick.
Old Spice, listen to this, man.
Look, Old Spice wears off on me too quick, and the other one puts bumps on under my arms.
Really? You have that option, though, huh? I bet you if you go to another country, they may not even have that option.
I wouldn't care. I wouldn't be in America. They don't care if I stink. They care that I eat every night.
You know what
because America is destabilizing them. As long as I got some food, we good to go.
I think America's, when I have gone a few places in my life, not everywhere, a few places, but we live decent over here. We're not having rolling blackouts. We're not having.
Are you sure? Because in Texas, when they had the ice storm or the snowstorm, they had rolling blackouts because the people were videotaping it, showing, hey, yo, my power's out, but they're making sure downtown's on. Next one.
These people every day have blackouts. There's 5 or 6 hours out of the day every day.
That's cool. It's warm down there. If I'm in Texas and it's -2 degrees, I don't need a rolling blackout.
We've had the power go out. That's different, man. So that's two different things between. I get what you're saying.
No. It's rolling. It was rolling blackouts. Rolling blackouts, especially when it counts. Like if you have an every day, you can expect it. Not when it's cold and I got my heater on full blast. Now I got to be cold, watching everybody in downtown having fun. They had building lights on in the major buildings. Nobody was even in there. People in the house is freezing. So let's say in Texas, they ain't got no coats.
On to the next one because this is.
Well, okay, cool. You're talking about free and fair elections.
Yes.
Let's talk about it. You said you wanted to ask the question. Let's ask the fans the question and the listeners. Should Donald Trump be tried for January 6th?
At this point in time, should he even be allowed to run for public office? I mean, right now it's like let's not bring that point. Let's just say, should he be tried right now for January 6th? Because I look at it like my personal opinion on it is that it's too late to try him. We're too far into this election cycle. Why didn't we try him 3 years ago when he should have been tried?
Yeah.
4 years ago when he should have been tried. They have all the evidence. I watched the January 6th hearings and they got all the evidence against him. They got all the people telling on him. They got all the evidence they need against him. It's a good story. I watched January 6th happen. It was 11 days, man, like 3 hours per day. It was crazy.
He was in there watching it, doing his little wee jerking dance.
I mean, even his kid told him he needs to stop this. What's the guy's name from Fox News? I can't remember his name right now. Sean Hannity. A bunch of people came out telling him. But the point of it is, right now, I feel like 3 years later, 4 years later, we're running into a new election cycle. He's already the presumptive candidate for the Republican Party. He has a huge population of people who's ready to vote for him. If they were to go in and try him and convict him right now, and he was not able to run for president, do you understand that would basically rip the country apart?
I mean, the country's already ripped apart. It's just like someone's waiting for it to set off. He shouldn't be able to run for president. He should have been in jail. They keep asking but he's allowed to put so much stuff into power, and the people that helped him coordinate January 6th attack to overthrow the government and take away our freedom as Americans should have also been locked up. But they waited too long. Like you said, it's too late now. It's over. You know, it doesn't matter if he wins or loses the election. They're still going to take over.
They're still going to say he won. I mean, he had a Supreme Court justice's wife help him with January 6th. That is crazy.
And the Supreme Court justice, he gets to, litigate against it.
Whether or not a president has diplomatic immunity. Basically, not even diplomatic
and everyone's like, you think he's going to throw his wife in jail? I'm like, well, when's the last time they got to do the nasty? Maybe her going away might work.
What would he? I mean, but the thing about it is,
you got that in place. You have senators, you have Congress people in place, you have police officers, you have DJoy that's still in the post office, slowing the mail down right now as we speak.
Like all I'm saying is right now, man, I feel like it's much too late for us to really do anything about it. If we tell these people that they don't have their candidate running for president at this point in time, we could possibly have some type of a civil war on our hands. And I've got friends of mine who've told me, who've come out and said to me, they're ready for that, and it's a possibility that this is something that could really happen. And so I feel like at this point in time, it's messed up to say we put away about 1,000 people, man, already with January 6th. I think they convicted around 1,000 of them. There's a lot more of them that need to be convicted.
Yeah, that's like street level dealers, though. You
got a guy like Karl Rove who came out and said that he feels like they should be convicted of this, and he don't think that Donald Trump should be president.
Mike Pence just came out and he said, I wouldn't vote for Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump is too erratic. I can understand why you like his appeal. He tells it like it is, but he don't care about you small fries. He's just using you. He's selling you a Bible for $60. A Bible. They give it to you free when you go stay at a hotel.
And at the same time, he doesn't even go to church.
At all.
But this just says a lot about his crowd. I mean, I'm watching people online. This is his crowds online. You should hear the stuff that they're saying, man. It's crazy.
Well, no, the people are like this. They'd rather watch this country burn than give it back to anybody else.
Absolutely.
This country was founded on violence, and they're gonna end it on violence, and that's how I look at it.
They had a meme I saw. It's like, you didn't like low gas prices, stock, your 401k doing good, no war in the Middle East, a bunch of stuff that just like it's just idiotic to even say.
You know what I'm saying? Let's not talk. I don't want to talk about Donald Trump's first 2 years as president doesn't count as his presidency because that's still the Obama effect. What was happening in his last year of his presidency? COVID. We were at COVID. Businesses shut down. People losing their homes. People losing money. People remember, you got $1,200. Don't worry. You got $1,200. That'll last you. And remember, he stalled the checks because he wanted to put his name on it.
Ain't that crazy?
I'm not knocking. I'm just saying.
The bigger thing is, though, this is what I will give him credit for.
That man ran the country into the ground.
I believe he did a lot of things that were very anti-American, and we don't see it. I think there's a lot of things he did that were pro outside forces. Like you look at him, he's speaking with the Saudi. I think it was the Saudi. I know it's not the king, but it's the next in line.
Like
the
guy who's
helping to run the country. Yes, I think it was one of the princes, but he's like the next in line to be king.
Okay.
Pretty much. And so he's been speaking to him. Then these are the same guy who killed the American journalist.
The journalist, yeah, and they set him up.
His name was. They butchered him inside of the. I think the palace. They might have killed him inside of the palace or one of the consulates or something like that over there. He also bombing Soleimani in Iraq. That to me, I believe that was something that him and this conspiracy, whatever you want to call it. I believe that was done. That was told to him by a person outside, which was like Russia. I believe they told him, "Hey, first cut the deal." He cuts the deal with Iran. Oh, now you can't trust Americans because as soon as they get a new president, the deals that you guys make together don't count anymore.
I'm like this.
That deal with Obama. Let me just.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then off top, what does he do? He goes and kills one of their top generals because they say now we didn't hear about this at the time, but now they say that he was supposed to be planning on bombing or attacking the embassy in Iraq, American embassy in Iraq. This is what we hear now. We didn't hear about this at the time. And so this is, to me, the stuff that he did, that was very anti-American. But what I can say, I'll give him the stock market run that he did have. I believe that when he got into office, the people in power, corporations, businessmen did believe that he was going to give them tax breaks. That he had the House and Senate. He went and gave them tax breaks. They felt like they could put that money back into the economy and make it work. I believe he did do that.
Oh, the trickle-down effect. Well, he gave them money. That trickle-down stuff don't happen. Yeah, it don't work like that.
I'll give him his record stock price
for corporations, right? His stock, but you see how now, like even in California, the governor of California, he was like, "Look, you need to pay. It's too expensive to live here. Pay the fast food workers $20 an hour." You know what these corporations decide to do? They're letting the business owners fire these people. They're like, "We ain't paying you 20. We want our profits." And they're firing people. I know Pizza Hut. They fired all the delivery drivers.
That's part of business. They really don't. What do they need them for?
Yeah.
When I got Uber and DoorDash, what do I need a delivery driver for? What is it helping me to have?
I guess they're not essential workers anymore because that's what they were calling them. You're an essential work. They needed you. Remember, you were essential, but now that they got to actually,
delivery drivers. It was food. Food is essential.
Food. That's why the fast food was essential. Yeah, Supermarkets were essential. And think about it. Now it's like, hey, now they got to pay you a living wage. They just gave you a pat. Oh, you guys are superheroes. You know, it's crazy because superheroes don't get a paycheck either.
Yeah.
They just patted you on the back. But now that they're told, hey, we need to pay you a wage just so you can actually have the goods of actually having a decent life. They said, we'll just fire you. But they're firing people and cutting your hours.
I mean, at the end of the day, $20 an hour, it probably does cut into their profitability because you can't just look at large scale operations, say fast food workers. Fast food workers could be considered anything. Say a person owns a coffee shop, something like that. That could be considered. That could be considered fast food
if they serve food.
I mean, it doesn't mean you can serve a bagel. Yeah. That's food. That's considered food. If you warm anything up, it's probably considered food. And so any of these places, these are a lot of mom and pop places too that have these same problems. Now they're having to pay $20 an hour to keep people, and that's cutting into their bottom line. A bigger company like McDonald's, they have there's a lot more leeway, and you know, their pricing power is a little bit better.
Well, McDonald's then going to replace all those people with robots anyways.
That would be the smart move. There's a guy who did that already in California. He's already got the entire place is robots. Yeah. From the fryer machine, everything is done by a robot.
I've seen the one thing where they're like, who's going to clean the restaurant? They got the robot going in the bathroom, cleaning it up, coming out. You know, like those, I mean, McDonald's and that, they've been setting that up for a minute because, you know, everything comes pre-cooked anyways, half-cooked.
But yeah, but the biggest thing is like, when we get back to Trump, I really feel like at the end of the day, it's going to be, bless you, it's going to be very, very difficult for us to do anything about getting him out of power at this point in time. I mean, the only thing we can do is go and vote and try and stop him from actually winning the presidency, which we know that's going to be, he's going to say he didn't lose. He won no matter whatever happens. But I don't think that, I mean, he's not in a position to really do anything because he's not president this time.
The only reason I would want Trump to win is because I want him to finish off how he was destroying America like he started.
You want America to be destroyed?
Well, think about this. They don't do anything for African Americans. And I say it like this. Look.
That's tough.
No, I don't want to see it destroyed, right? But when Donald Trump was president, it was everybody. Oh, if he didn't like you, everyone was getting attacked. When you have Joe Biden as president, they're looking out for everyone else but us. And we're the ones that saved you in the last election. African Americans, foundational Black Americans have been saving this country since its inception. If it wasn't for African Americans, foundational Black Americans in the Civil War, the South would still be winning. I'm just saying like this. And they didn't give us the 40 acres and the mule. And the 40 acres and the mule was actually supposed to be a piece of Virginia, I believe. They're supposed to give us a whole piece of land. Actually, they just reneged on the whole thing. And then they still continue to step on us, put us in poverty.
40 acres and a mule, they took it back from them.
And they still continue. They'll come to the poor areas. Yeah, they'll shook and jive for you, but they don't do nothing for you. And then you want to prop up an artist like Cardi B who raps about how wet her coochie is. Like, that's supposed to impress me. Yeah, look, I'm saying like this. Until America does right by its African American citizens that have constantly saved it, entertained it, made it a stronger country, and represented it to the world as a strong country, this country will continue to fail. And I'm glad I live on the West Coast because I ain't got to deal with it.
I mean, man, you're going to have to deal with it sooner or later. My personal opinions.
Nope, I'm 2 hours away from Canada.
Do I feel like I wouldn't want to see America fail because this is pretty much what we have. If we want to use for everybody, but as being a Black American, we don't know where our roots are really from. We have no idea. So this is the country that we have. What I want to see it fail? No. Do I think that we are failing right now? I think we're failing on a number of different fronts, but I don't think that we're failing overall.
America is a failed state. It's a failed state.
You let a man country in the entire world right now. The strongest by far.
To everyone outside, if you realize you let a man that tried to overthrow the government still walk free, still get on TV and talk ish. He's still allowed to.
That doesn't make you a failed state, though.
It does. Because if it was the real America that I know, that I grew up in, you try to do some treasonous stuff, lock you right up.
That's what Karl Rove. Karl Rove was President W. Bush. He was his campaign manager. And these guys are conservative, to say the least. They are far right conservative, not as far right as a Donald Trump or some of these other guys out here, Marjorie Taylor Greene type far right. But these guys are neocons. They are very serious conservatives. This is Dick Cheney conservatism. This is George Bush, the original conservatism. And he said that these guys should be locked up.
Locked up for treason.
He said that if he done what they did, he'd be locked up for it. He said he'd be talking to him from a jail cell right now.
And people don't understand. And I keep throwing that in people's faces like, look, they tried to take away your freedom. Because if you have a dictator, he's not going to let you get on social media and talk bad about him. He's not going to let you get on the news and talk bad about him.
He's going to run roughshod over the entire economy. For us to sit back and talk and say that Democrats have done nothing for Black America, I would say they've done nothing directly for Black America, but they've done a lot to
they've done that. No, every law they pass is for everyone.
Well, this again back to the point that I've made before. We have to not ask, but we have to demand what we want. Like, what do we want? What have we asked for?
We've made lists.
Like
we talked about this. Ice Cube.
I mean, that's one person. We got to get behind Ice Cube.
Cornel West.
Cornel West runs for president every year.
Tariq Nasheed.
Who?
Dr. Umar.
Who? You know what I'm saying? Like, Dr. Umar, are you serious, man? Like, don't get me wrong.
I'm dead serious.
Dr. Umar has his lane. Don't get me wrong. These aren't the only ones you're saying is Cornel West.
Tariq Nasheed.
I don't know who that is.
Tariq Nasheed is a man I follow. He made a couple films called Hidden Colors. And
okay,
that just fills. Yeah, I mean, I've told you about that. That fills in the blanks of all the history that they just leave out.
We have to get behind these people and actually vote more than just in presidential elections. We know who the president is, know who the vice president is. Most people don't even know who the Speaker of the House is or what it does. Don't know the Speaker of the House is third in line. If the president's gone and the vice president dies, the Speaker of the House is third in line. We got to understand what our state and local governments consist of. We got to understand our power in the House of Representatives and how that works, because it doesn't just go president. He can just do whatever. No, you need the House and you need the Senate.
Question:
all three branches. You need all three. Not branches.
Then who's the designated survivor during the State of the Union?
I don't know, man. I can't remember. There's somebody.
I'm about to say because the president's there, the vice president's there, and the Speaker of the House is there.
What they do is probably pluck somebody out of the cabinet somewhere.
Yeah.
And put them as that.
And they're back there rubbing their hands like Birdman. What do y'all think?
Hold on. Let's
you want to? Okay, cool. Let's keep going.
What I really look at it like, this is what we're not doing. This is why we can say we demand things, we're asking for things, but we're not. We're not truly standing behind anything. Then we're not truly following up on them. This is why Israel has so much power, because they understand what palms the grease and then keep greasing them and keep pushing them to follow their agenda. We don't have an agenda that we stand behind.
We do have an agenda. That's the whole thing. I'm saying they want economics brought back to the community. They want funds and everything. But check it out. The black leaders in these communities, but they push it away. They say, hey. Even when Ice Cube came for the plan for Black America
by himself, he came alone. Don't get me wrong. This is not me knocking Ice Cube. It's not me knocking.
He went to Trump. He went to Trump and he went to Biden, right? Because he's like, whoever's in power, I want to ask them. Trump was like, hey, I'm down for this. If I win, I got you. The Biden administration didn't even want to hear him. They said, we'll talk to you after the election, and still ain't talked to him
during this entire presidency for anybody. But I think he
nothing. He called all the football players sons of bitches.
Yeah, I think he lifted some of the.
He created that Donald Trump did more for black. Look, he made. He gave us Juneteenth, and he lifted those crack laws.
No, he didn't.
He made it a federal law. He made it a federal law.
Joe Biden did that. Joe Biden gave us. Joe Biden, look it up.
I'm pretty sure Donald Trump was there for Juneteenth.
We got a quick second. Yeah. I'll keep going, but I'm going to say right now, we don't ask for anything. If I send you one emissary and he's just speaking for himself, he's not speaking. Ice Cube doesn't speak for all Black Americans. Not saying that what he said does not pertain to us and that we don't want those things, but we got to get behind him.
Trump pledges to make Juneteenth federal holiday.
Did he do it?
Yes.
Watch. No, go look and see who actually did it. When did it become a holiday?
It's been a holiday
21st. It was 2021 under Joe Biden. That's what happened. Trump didn't do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to you.
It was Biden.
I'm gonna give it to you
because it's the truth. What?
I'm pretty sure Donald Trump did it.
Am I wrong? Look it up. Yeah. How you gonna pretty sure me? He's right there. He's online right now. This Poetic Flacco. I'm just joking. I don't call him Poetic Flacco. This is my guy. He got it right. He gets all.
Yeah. Why you keep calling me that?
Because
that's offensive.
But listen, all I'm saying is we really have to get to a point in our life and with things that we really sit behind and push for certain things. We're not doing that. But the bigger point is, my personal opinion.
You're right. Joe Biden signs Juneteenth national holiday, Independence Day Act.
I'm not going to say something unless I know.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one.
That's just it is.
I remember Donald Trump brought it up.
And he brought up it. You know what else Donald Trump did? He Harriet Tubman was supposed to be.
I don't want Harriet Tubman on $20 bill. I was going to bring that up. I don't want that. No.
Why not?
Because if someone's going to hand me a $20 bill, she can have a noose on her neck. Man, America ain't ready for that.
really, man.
And they're going to use the old picture of Harriet Tubman.
They did that to Barack. That'd be like saying you don't want Barack Obama to be president because they're going to put a noose around his neck and a poster of him.
No, they do that all the time.
Who cares?
They did that all the time.
I don't care if they do that. Just make sure they look. They make sure they have to look at her every time they get it. Every $20 bill, do it on there then too. Keep going.
I don't want Harriet Tubman on there.
I definitely want to see one of us on Harriet. It doesn't matter.
I'd rather see James Brown. I said what I said.
This is what I'm dealing with.
I'd rather. Anyways, what do y'all think? No.
We got one more topic.
One more topic?
Yeah.
All right.
We're going to speak about Ukraine becoming a member of NATO.
Yeah.
America, I can't remember who it was in the White House. What was it? Was it our Secretary of State?
Secretary of State, I believe. Yeah, he came out and he was like, yeah, they're going to join NATO. Let me see if I can find it really quick.
James Brown, man. This is crazy.
Bro, you don't know. James Brown did a lot for us.
Oh, my gosh.
Harriet Tubman did a lot too, but James Brown.
Let's not even compare the two. Let's not do it. Let's just not do it.
Watch.
Let's not do it.
You're going to talk to some old heads. They can be like, yo, you need to respect James Brown.
I respect him, but I don't respect him more than I respect Harriet Tubman.
I respect Harriet Tubman too. I respect James Brown also.
I do, but I can respect both of them to say that I don't want James Brown over Harriet Tubman.
Why not? Because every time I see James Brown, I'm going to say it loud. Because I'm black and I'm proud.
Okay, I got you.
Come on now. Come on now. James Brown was a man. He did a lot.
He did, but I'm not putting him on I'd put Barack Obama before I put James Brown.
Barack Obama ain't even African American.
Man, he's black.
No, there's a difference.
He's black.
He ain't African American.
He's black.
What
do you mean he ain't African American?
He's not. His dad's from Nigeria.
He's African.
Yeah, he's African. He ain't African.
He's American.
No, that's like you. Excuse me, my bad. He's not a foundation. He doesn't have foundational bloodline in him.
It doesn't matter.
It does. Elon Musk is African American.
That's what I was going to say. So both of them are African American.
They're both African. Okay, cool.
This is crazy, man. But he was born in America. He's black. He understands what it is to be black in America. He had to deal with the same problems that we had to deal with growing up in America.
He grew up in Hawaii.
That's America. Right? Am I right?
I mean,
it's America.
Technically.
Yeah.
They stole it.
Indonesia. People moved.
They stole it.
They stole the whole entire. They stole all of America.
Yeah, but they really stole Hawaii.
They stole everything.
They locked up the queen, the princess, and everything. They stole Hawaii.
Okay.
That's a whole nother story. Watch. We'll do some. I'll show you the research. I'll tell you how they did Hawaii dirt.
We kind of.
At the end of the day, I want everybody to know. At the end of the day, I love America. I do. I love America. I just don't like the people in it, and I don't like the people running it.
Okay, and I can agree on some of that too.
Yeah.
But, at the end of the day, we told NATO and we told Ukraine that we will allow them to
Anthony Blinken declares Ukraine will join NATO. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken declares. And so let's see.
That's a pretty big step. People don't realize how big of a step that is. They've been trying to join NATO since Ukraine for a very, very long time because they understand that joining NATO puts them in line with now 32 other countries to kind of go to war. There's a treaty between all the nations in there that if any one country's attacked, they all are attacked.
Yeah. And they said it was in the near future. It says the nation's top diplomats say that Ukraine will join NATO at some point in the future. An assertion probably intended to reassure Ukraine officials, but also cause some ruffled feathers in Moscow and alarm among some U.S. lawmakers. Because, I mean, it's basically a declaration of war.
Absolutely. If you now all of a sudden that if Ukraine joins NATO in the middle of a conflict, the middle of a war right now, middle of an attack, we have to call it that. We wouldn't call it war. You attacked Ukraine. If they join NATO in the middle of that attack, now all of a sudden we have grounds to have to go in there and help them fight. What do we think Vladimir Putin, who's discussed using nuclear weapons on...
He's been talking about nukes for a minute. He's going to drop them.
I just watched an interview with him. He said basically that he always talks around. He brings up nukes. He says it a lot, but he said we won't use them first because he kind of walked it back. I think it was a brand new interview that he did either yesterday or the day before. He kind of like, we won't be the first to use them because he understands that you keep talking that talk, it'll come to you.
Yeah.
And you ain't ready for that. You really are not ready for that. Only thing you can, at the end of the day, you would be destroying yourself from within. He wouldn't care. I mean, think about it. When a person is backed into a corner and they have that kind of resource, they wouldn't care. If you see a whole total loss and you're like, damn, you're not going to go out like Hitler and just kill yourself. Have you been watching BMF?
No, I haven't watched it. I can't watch shows with that other black folks watch in real time because the show will air at midnight and there'll be somebody at 12:55 talking about, I can't believe they just killed that person.
well, basically,
and I got to wake up and see it.
What I'm basically bringing it up for is that fact that there's an episode going on right now where the second in command, that you can tell that he sees that Meech is given a good deal at this point in time. He's like, okay, this dude's being reasonable. He's coming out here as a man. He came and shook our hands, told us he was sorry for the loss of one of the young kids who died, in the episode, and he's being a man about it. He's actually telling us that he has resources that he can help us with. And this other dude's like, war. The leader's like, war. The second in command's looking at him like, man, we don't need this kind of war. We really need to be working with this dude. So now he's working with Meech to kind of overthrow the guy in charge.
Yeah.
This is what will happen to Putin if he considers to go down nuking somebody. Because if he sends out a nuclear weapon, we're going to obliterate. Everybody's going to obliterate Russia.
Well, the world's going to be destroyed anyways.
I think it's going to be
Think about it. You got that nuclear waste leaking out of Japan from that earthquake tsunami from years ago, and they show it. Like, they haven't cleaned that up. It's in the Pacific Ocean. It's destroying the fish and everything that's there. It shows you how bad it is. If one nuke gets dropped, another nuke gets dropped, a lot of stuff's going to... Think about it. It'll be like Ohio. When they had that train wreck, what was it, last year? And all the chemicals, and they burned the chemicals and put it into the air, and it made acid rain.
We have to consider this. This is what I'm saying. I think that someone's going to step in, like you watched the movie Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Someone's going to step in.
That was like the last time they tried to assassinate Adolf Hitler, and it came from within.
Yeah, someone's going to step in and say, I'm already a billionaire. I'm already own all these plants. I have all the. Yeah, Putin gave it to me, but now basically you're about to take it all away from me, and you're going to make me a common man. Because once nukes are dropped, everybody's a common man. I'll tell you who's going to. That's when you're going to get Zuckerberg going to Hawaii, getting in his bunker. You're a common man. The common people. You got. What are you going to pay a person to stop somebody from coming in there and taking what's yours? What can you do? No,
because you can't. You can pay some guy, but then after a while, that dude's gonna be like, I don't need to guard you. Your money's no good.
It's like they did Gaddafi. He's over here. Pay $5 million. Oh yeah, he's over here. You're gonna give me this position? Oh, because money won't mean anything.
Yeah,
you gotta start looking at the facts of this.
No,
people don't want to lose everything in order for one person's bloodlust or him to go down in history, like you were saying before, to go down in history as being this person. They're like, man, this dude is tripping. Hold on.
Yeah, because once your money and everything you've gathered all throughout your life is worthless, then you have nothing.
And now guys like not just us, anybody on the street can pretty much just looking at you like lunch meat.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that it won't go that far.
Because ain't nobody coming to save you.
And so and like with Ukraine joining NATO, it's not going to happen until after this conflict is over. Because that's not going to make sense. We need to go ahead. What we got to do is supply them weapons. They put up 100. So they're saying Europe saying they're going to put up $100 billion, like kind of a trust to, for Ukraine to be able to draw down from, because they're trying to make the Ukrainian war Trump proof. Because they think that when Trump gets in office, he's already said that he doesn't believe Ukraine. Again, another thing that he's saying that expounds a pro-Russian standpoint, that Ukraine's not even a country. The only other person that said this before, Putin.
Well, he also caused issues in the Middle East because he just put the American embassy in Jerusalem and said it should be Israel.
And that's supposed to be, Jerusalem's supposed to be cut in half.
Yeah, no, Jerusalem's supposed to be, it's the place of the biblical. It's a safe spot. It's like Switzerland. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Cut in half between the West Bank and Israel. That's Palestinians land in the West Bank and Israel land. Should be cutting that in half. And he's also said that he would tell any country in NATO that you're on your own.
Yeah.
If you don't do this, I tell Putin to. I'll tell these guys to attack them. This is what he's saying.
Yeah, he said it out his mouth.
Out his mouth, man. So we don't.
And he talked about cutting Social Security and Medicaid.
Say, what have they done for black people? What is this? We're gonna put ourselves in a situation one of these days, man. We keep on talking. That's why us not voting for Hillary is what got us here.
Yep, it sure
right
did.
Now. This is what got us here. Not saying these people are the best for us, but understand you're a horse in the race. You got 50-something black House members to 4 black Democratic, 50-something black Democratic House members to 4 black Republican House members who just got in office in 2021. How much power they got? You just got in office 2021. We got people who've been in the House since the 60s and the 70s over on the Democratic side. Maxine Waters probably 80-something years old. You know, do we know that the minority leader is Hakeem Jeffries? He's black. So if they win, if the Democrats win power, we will have the first black House Speaker of the House in history. Will be from the Democratic Party. We got to stop talking like this doesn't make sense to me. And it kind of like
got to make tangibles. I'm just saying you got to make tangibles. After
Absolutely.
They pass the law to protect Asians and Pacific Islanders.
That's a soft law. That's
a soft law, but they still got one. They still got one.
Is that what we're looking for? I think we're looking for something so
Show
much
me some
greater.
love. I don't want you to give me nothing. Show me some love.
Don't give me fake love. Give me something tangible. Give me the
only thing Democrats promise. They be like, hey, Democrats are like, hey, we'll give you less jail time. We'll put you in jail for shorter times. Like, oh, less It's less slavery, you're saying, huh?
I feel like this.
This is a topic we're going to have to get deeper into.
They're giving health care.
They give everybody health care.
Yeah, but that helps us too at the same time. We now
not having health care made it so we weren't affected. The black community wasn't highly affected by the heroin epidemic. Not having access to health care, because that's what started it.
Possibility. But like I'm saying, point of it is now like we're in a situation to we need to start understanding our power and walking within that power and understanding how we put people in the right places and making that happen. That's my personal belief in that situation right there. And so, you know, first black president was a Democrat. First black vice president, this is for any race. First minority president, Democrat, black. You know what I'm saying? First minority vice president, black, Democrat. First minority, I believe, if they do take the House, could be Hakeem Jeffries, black. You know what I mean? Like we got to start Senate members. We have more black senators than the Republicans got more in office right now. We got to understand where our power lies, but then do something about it. That's the problem right there.
I was going to bring up John Hanson.
Who's that? As
the first black president, but that's being debunked. But I mean, you can see him on the back of a $2 bill. Anywho, folks, this has been uncommon courtesy. Let us know what you think. Like, subscribe, share.
Just ring that notification bell to make sure you get all of our new episodes first.
Yes. This is Uncommon Courtesy.